I did a video the other day, EV residuals tank again while ICE cars go up. And must be because EVs are flying off the shelf, which if they were, they wouldn't tank. Every EV across every range and mileage went down. Everyone. Because they're flying off the shelves. If you think that makes sense, then you're an EV shill. Okay? So this is the video I did.
Now, let me just go through today's news. Well, actually, let's go through the other day's news. Tesla Model X 19 to 21, minus 7.8%, down £3,475. So the 3,000 quid that you saved last month, you've lost that and another 475 quid this month.
The report was used EV buyers could save nearly 3,000 compared to equivalent ICE. This is by Car Gurus. In my opinion, it was rubbish, and in the video I said why it was rubbish. Now we've got another report out. So this is GB News. Electric car owners can save 5,850 with millions of drivers urged to ditch petrol and diesel. Okay, so the video I did the other day, it came in for quite a bit of criticism off the intellectual EVers. So the basis of that story is now a comparable EV is £3,000 cheaper than the same ICE car, even though they cost more, a lot more new. At the same age, same mileage, EVs can only sell when they are considerably less than a petrol. Let that sink in. Who's going to buy them new? What private is going to buy a new one when it's going to cost them thousands more? And it's going to be more expensive to run than an ICE car. That's the top and bottom of it. It will be more expensive. How much? It's £3,000 less. Even if they were the same price, it's going to be £3,000 less. So you've lost £3,000 more. How much fuel? How many private people use £3,000 of fuel? Not many, I don't think. Then when you take into account EVs cost thousands and thousands of pounds more new, and then are worth 3,000 less, it's a no-brainer. You cannot, if you're a private person, you cannot buy an EV. You can't. The only ones who buy EVs are these stupid ones on here. They're so blinkered, I'm going to keep my car forever. Well, you have to, mate. But on the other hand, you're not doing the mileage to make it cleaner and greener than an ICE car in the first place. So you shouldn't have one. You're the worst type of person to buy an EV. If you're going to buy an EV, make sure you do the mileage. Make sure you do more than 23,500 miles, because that's the carbon neutral point, the accepted carbon neutral point. Most people think it's way, way more. Way more. But anyway, we'll stick with that. So that's your £3,000. Tesla's dropped £3,500 1 month. So a used EV buyer could save nearly So you buy it used, you're saving £3,000 on an ICE car, but then the month you buy it, it drops £3,500 and the ICE car goes up. So after 1 month, you're worse off buying an EV. You don't save £3,000. Right, okay. So after my video, let me just show you the criticism I attracted from some intellectual giants here. EVs are now cheaper than petrol. Crying emoji, or crying laughing emoji, etc. You've not really thought this through, have you, Gumbo? That's me, Gumbo. Pan Van Dum here is... You've not really thought it through, have you, Gumbo? That's him. Stop burning stuff. So I've replied, I think you'll find that I have, and it's you that's the Gumbo. Typical EV mouthpiece, not a clue. We'll go to the next one. His reply, you've literally just said that second-hand EVs are cheaper than their petrol equivalents, and then stated that it's not cheaper to own an EV. You effing M. Lovely bloke. I think, you know, I think we could be friends. There we go. Gumbo. These EV people are so lovely, they make you want a nice car even more. Pan Van Dum. Pan Van Dum has just sent me another tweet. So you effing M, you buy a cheap EV, and then next month it drops £3,475 and petrol vehicles go up. Get it, you. In sales, we're taught to mirror people. That's how you sell vehicles. If you... Yeah, yes, Mr. Customer. So, you invade the space. All that sort of stuff. Psychological, blooming psyops, all rubbish. If you've got a good car, they'll buy it. You don't have to do all that mirroring. Blooming, don't get me started. And petrol vehicles go up. Get it, you effing Gumbo M. Or do you just want to keep calling me names while I school you? What a loser. Why do you keep quote tweeting, you dippy old C? Teslas are dropping so much in price because Elon Musk has outed himself as an effing T. I don't think he has, to be honest. And if something is worth less used, then it's cheaper to buy, obviously. This isn't effing rocket science, old man. Ah, dear me. Do you want to know the funny thing? He's realised what an idiot he is. And he's blocked me. I mean, it's not like I'm going to keep contacting him. I've just replied to him and he's blocked me. However, Pan Van Dum here actually makes a good point. You've not really thought this through, have you, Gumbo? Should I tell you who has thought it through? There's a report out called Code. Must have taken them ages to think of that. They probably paid somebody to come up with that name. Cost of driving electric Code. In this report, the one thing that becomes obvious, electric car owners can save £5,850 with millions of drivers urged to ditch petrol and diesel vehicles because they can save £5,850. Anybody who has owned an electric car for any length of time knows how cheap they are to run. I think that's a quote from Quentin. I think. Tens of millions of Britons could benefit from switching to battery electric vehicles and save thousands of pounds a year, according to new research. The cost of driving electric Code report, which was published today, shows that 80% of drivers could save money by switching away from traditional petrol and diesel vehicles. The research took into account the total cost of ownership for 50 different electric vehicles and 480 scenarios via the industry body Electric Vehicles UK. They're not going to be biased. It found that across the 480 studies, drivers would save an average of £5,850 across 5 years for a used vehicle and 4 years for a new. So they'd save an average, and 4 years for a new EV. That's GB News. Fleet World, more than 80% of drivers can save by switching to an EV. Transport and Energy, EV UK launches Cost of Driving Electric report. A comprehensive study of the cost of driving battery electric vehicles is commissioned by Electric Vehicles UK and conducted by New Automotive. Electric Vehicles UK, New Automotive, Jolt. So they've commissioned them, they've paid them, understanding the cost of driving electric. The cost of driving electric vehicles, like many aspects of EV policy and the market, have been clouded by misunderstanding and misinformation Previous estimates of EV costs and savings have often relied on small sample sizes or focused on only one segment of the market. Simply comparing the median recommended retail prices of EVs with that of petrol vehicles is also insufficient, as this approach can be skewed by luxury EV models, which sell in low volumes and does not account for discounts and incentives. Electric Vehicles UK set out to provide a definitive, data-driven analysis of the total cost of EV ownership. This study considers all associated costs, not just purchase price and charging, but also servicing, insurance, taxation and depreciation. Because these people, they're experts in depreciation, aren't they? They know what's going to happen, because you can see what's going to happen in the future if you've got blinkers on. It's not even a month old, and all the calculations have gone to cock, completely and utterly to cock. I mean, all the rest is just garbage. It's just absolute garbage. 80% saved by switching to an EV. 5,850 average overall saving with EV ownership. 2,781 used EV cheaper than petrol equivalent. That should be alarm bells. A used EV is cheaper than the equivalent petrol because they can't sell them, and they're going to depreciate even more because they can't sell them, and because there's more and more coming onto the market, coming off lease. Those leasing companies have to get rid of these used cars. They can't have them in stock. They've got to go. That's their money. It's all blooming financed up. It's got to go. And if this is government action is needed to reduce public charging costs, cost of ownership analysis, it's just garbage. 500,000 forecast of new BEV sales in UK in 2025. 250,000 forecast of used BEV sales in UK in 2025. Upfront purchase, you save 2,781 by not buying a petrol, which won't depreciate as fast as an EV. So you're not saving that. So, in 1 month, let me just go down further. Charging versus refueling. I'm assuming that's if you can charge at home. Cost of purchasing analysis, and then, the new ones, you've got to go on to salary sacrifice. What about private people? Let's do one on private people buying a new EV where they tank 50% in 12 months. Let's do one on that, because that's rubbish. That's absolutely rubbish. 2,194 average saving through salary sacrifice. The leasing companies were losing an average of £2,400 on each vehicle they put through the auction, apparently. So you can save £2,194, but the leasing company lose an average of £2,400. Save up to £5,700 charging at home at 8,000 miles. Charging at home. What if you can't charge at home? Is it 48% of people can't charge at home? So these 80% of people can save money buying an EV, but 48% can't charge at home. Average total savings across ownership and charging types for new EVs versus ICE equivalent. BMW iX versus X5. The next one is quite interesting. Tesla Model Y versus BMW X3. This month, or last month, 100% of EVs went down a lot. 100%, all of them went down a lot of money. Led by Teslas at £3,500. Biggest fallers in percentage at 3 years, 30,000 miles, February. Tesla Model X down £3,475. Mini Cooper electric, little electric car, down 827. Polestar down £3,000. 1 month. 1 month. What makes it worse is they went down, that Polestar 6%, the Tesla 7.8%, ICE cars went up. So say they went up they've gone up more than 3%, because what they've done here, They've chucked everything together like they normal do. When it's bad news for EVs, they lump it all together with ICE cars. Used car prices rise 0.4% in February, but EVs and diesels fall the most. So, cutting the crap, petrol cars went up. February saw 0.4% rise in used car prices. That's across the board. But EVs went down 4, 5, 6%. The data showed that used electric car prices declined across all the age. So if they'd have split it into groups, it looks like petrol cars would have gone up 3 or 4%, and EVs have gone down 3.5% or 3.6%. All that, imagine how much that report cost, and it's rubbished the day it comes out, because there's already information come out which has blown it out the water. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.